I'm completely clueless.
Yeah, she is. Her name is Melissa, and she would like to have a drink with you.
Have you ever tried Celine berry wine?
Oh, they have the best vintages here, outside of Celine, of course. So I've heard. She says, Sumrik is very fond of the stuff.
Who is? I'm sorry?
Sumrik. But it's in the chat.
That's entirely not at all how I spelled that in my head.
That's all right. How would I recall who Zoomrick is?
It sounds Elven.
Yes.
Elven and ancient. An ancient Elven name.
Is there like a... I'm terrible at it, but is there like some sort of like history check to know who that is or anything, or no?
By first name, no. You know, it's old, but, you know.
That's a first name. That's not a last name.
That's a first name, so it could be just a traditional name that certain elves use. So
yes. Okay. Well, Zoomrick then has obviously has good taste. Perhaps he is quite intimate with the homeland in that regard.
Oh, he's great. And she's about to say what you just said, but she said it says smiles, like she cuts herself off. And that's the thing with women are like this, like, yes. But
yeah.
Please tell me more about you.
Oh God. Well, I live in a shack in the middle of the woods.
Really?
Yes.
Fascinating. We usually don't get any. I mean, hermits in here.
Yes, it's an interesting life, to be fair. I mean, I didn't expect myself to ever be in such an establishment like this in my own travels, but life does have a funny way of being unexpected in this regard.
Somebody who lives out rough. You are certainly well dressed.
Oh yes, I got it brand new. They even patched up my pants.
Oh, that's a shame. And you see the bartender just puts a drink. Like the bartender knows what she likes, right? And she puts a drink and says, what can I use for it? We have ales, we have mead, we have wines.
You speaking to me?
Yes.
Some berry wine, please.
And you know, the bartender, she is wearing like a sleeveless, like a jacket, and she's muscular. Like you can see that she works out, right? She's human, rather tall, almost 7 feet tall. And you know, she has that. Well, she has the wiry physique, or somebody who does a lot of physical training like you do.
As you're describing that, I was actually going to look and I say, where did you train? To her.
The bartender says, well, I used to be with the guild. 3 generations of mercenaries. My pops taught me a thing or two.
It's impressive. How skilled are you? Still skilled, if I may ask?
You want me to throw you out personally, or do you want me to call on the guards to help?
The guards helping would be a challenge then, but I would rather not being thrown out at all. I mean no offense, of course.
And she smiles. She just goes to thing arms, like she smiles, like yeah.
I'm more interested in her than the whore that's trying to talk to me. So,
oh wow!
Yikes!
Let's see if she gets the vibe out of you. Wow.
Oh, I didn't say that out loud. I want to point that out.
True enough, but you know she is. She has no idea. As long as you're paying her drinks, she's fine. Yeah.
May I ask your name, ma'am? And I'm talking to the bartender.
Tara.
'Tis a pleasure. You may call me Lael. And I do like a nice little curtsy bow and all that stuff to her.
She's like, I suppose I may.
Either that or asshole. Whatever works for you.
And she laughs out loud. In fact, so she likes to laugh so loud that there's a halfling sitting here who's kind of sleeping. And like, what? Batten down the hatches. And she's like, Got it, little man. Right. I should. Yes, you should. And he sort of hops on the stool and kind of doesn't run, but does a fast walk. Like, yeah, I don't want to get it. And he goes to the rooms. Sorry.
Uh,
Mr.
that's fine.
You get a little excitable, the little scamp.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I've seen many strange things in the past couple of months.
Such as?
Would you believe me if I told you I was in the jungle less than a month ago?
I believe it. Yes.
Halfway
My brother has done a lot of expeditions down there.
halfway
Fun.
across the continent,
Yes, I'm expecting him back anytime soon.
fighting snake gods.
Snakes, giant frogs, those damned roadmen, red rope assholes from the east.
Oh, them. Yes, we didn't encounter any of them yet, but thankfully not. Who is your brother, if I may ask?
You may not.
I apologize if I'm prying too much, ma'am.
Oh, I apologize. It's apology accepted. Yeah, sweetie, you got to take this slow. You're going pretty fast. You know that, right?
Am I?
Yes.
I can't even tell, but then again, I always go fast.
He laughs like, that's a good one.
I never tell lies either.
That could be a hazard to some people.
That's
You
true. That's very true.
Do I see this debacle happening at the bar?
Yeah. You can do an inside check from over here.
Ah, damn it.
See, I thought I was actually doing good.
No, I've in my head, I've been having this little game. How many minutes is it going to take before Robert says insight check? I was like, oh man, if I could
23.
make a game.
Natural 20.
I said, if I could make a gamble of this, but I couldn't figure out how to do it without
The
alerting
reading that
Robert.
you get from Tara. I mean, the lady on you get the reading of the immediate area. The lady to his left, Melissa, it's just there for the drinks. Right? She's a
100%.
She's a barfly. Not a
Yeah.
whore. She's a barfly. It's a thing. Tara is amused by the fumbling attempts by Leo to get her interest. She's interested in how clumsy he is at getting her interest.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, so she's entertained, right? So you give him a 60-40 chance, putting Leo on the 40 chance of actually being succeeded. So he's there close. He's close, but yeah,
I'll approach
not tonight. Doesn't seem like a tonight thing.
I'll approach the bar. Friend, I see you found a good seat.
Oh,
And
yes.
At the moment you sit in, you see that Melissa just sort of rounds around, boop, boop. Get the ruler here. Boop, 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 and goes and sits over here where the apple milk is. And she straight out of her mouth, the first thing she says, like, you're going to buy me a drink, right?
I don't know about that just yet. I haven't even got my own.
Tara?
I highly recommend the berry wine, Marcus. It is quite good vintage here, especially considering it is from Celine.
I appreciate that, but the best recommendations are usually come from those who are actually around the product. And I will look to the bartender. Excuse me, before I actually ask for a drink, what's your name?
Tara.
Tara, pleasure to meet you. I'm Marcus Clan Ollivander. And what would you recommend from your current selection?
Well, we do have some local vineyards, more temperate stuff. The berry wine is sneaky. It can hit you. It goes down fast and slow, but then it gets you fast.
I just motion. I'm like, clearly, of course.
And so you have to be very careful. And you see that Leo now has drunk probably second flute. Like he was talking and he just forgot that he had a drink. He just boom downed it. And she puts a third one in front of him.
I've been
and
needing to-
and also she puts a drink on Melissa's place, right? But for you, sir, I would say the white wine from Divers. It has a little bit of a bite, but not too much. You might want to try it.
Absolutely, I would love to.
Yeah, this one, of course, it's not up to the standards of, say, Celine one, which is more expensive. One night, but it's fine. It's not box wine, but it's a difference between getting a bottle at the supermarket with a cork and one with the with the plastic wrapping thing that just so it's a little better. It's
Wonderful.
Average to good. Yeah.
That's actually exactly what I was looking for.
And it's soft enough that you can feel it in 3 or 4.
Well, Tara, I'm actually very curious as to just this place. I've been away from the city for a long time, and I'm trying to find the best place to actually have a proper night of cutting loose. The floor seems to be what it should be.
Mhm.
There seems to be a good control on the amount of cheating and false acts trying to take advantage of people. What else should I know to sort of add to what I've seen so far? Because I've played around. I've made sure not to win, not to lose, to kind of get the sense. But
Well, if you're looking for something a little more exciting, you have to arrange a private game. That I think would have to talk to Sumrick about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but those can be expensive.
Is Zoombrick actually here tonight?
Yes, you probably saw him. It's the elf.
Ah, oh yes, I do recall seeing them on the floor before.
Absolutely wonderful. I may actually do that. Or at least inquire into the process and see the ranges and things like that. Very interesting. Beyond enjoying a bit of a show from those who get bold when they drink. I do love the honesty that alcohol brings out in people. It is truly entertaining.
Talking of which, Leo, make a Constitution check.
I
That's
was asking you that before. Do you need me to roll that? So
yeah.
And I am doing that to attempt to improve Leo in the eyes of the bartender. Basically being like, I get it. He's going fast. It's the alcohol. He means it.
I'm gonna need it because I rolled a botch.
And you say that to her, and she just laughs. I had worse.
I don't doubt it. Either way,
just make sure that well,
I'll make sure that he doesn't cross any lines, and I'm pretty sure that you can cover yourself if he does.
Oh,
but I would not want it to come to that. Really, that's the bulk of important details about that, though.
As you're talking, Lale just kind of really feels it hitting his head now.
Yeah.
And he says in kind of a slurred way, I do apologize. If I have made a fool of myself.
I just put my hand on his shoulder. Don't worry, you're fine. You know what? Let me get you a special white wine.
I do try to put my hand on you, but then I realize I don't have one.
And when I say that, I look to the bartender and I'm just like,
yeah. And she's like, and she gives you a rice finger. Like he probably can have one more, but that's gonna be it. And you're gonna have to cut him off.
I thumbs up.
Officially, Leo is poisoned.
Oh shit!
Yeah. It makes sense.
It's the effect of the alcohol, not that somebody slipped a roofie on you and like that.
I was gonna say, damn you, Melissa.
Well, Tara, I actually have one more question, and I'm curious if you might be able to assist me.
Go ahead.
There's someone I'm trying to get some information on.
Hmm.
And as far as I know, they're very low key. Now, I know that this isn't part of a guild, I would assume, based off.
And she raises a hand, like he does the thing where she's crossing hands. She's gonna raise her hands, like be careful, right? Just careful
Yep.
what you say, right? It's
Fully aware.
Perhaps, Marcus, we should ask later.
No. I've got this. I've got this completely.
I trust you.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm just trying to catch up with an old friend since I've been gone and understand what's going on with them. Atario of House Tavian.
She has some good memory for people and places. So.
Marcus is pretty much doing what I was trying to do and failing at.
No. She says, in spite of that, she goes solo too. So yeah. She says, I heard about that house. It used to be a guy who used to come here, but that was months ago. I haven't seen him since. I can barely remember his face.
Noted. Well, I will definitely keep everything going on here in mind. I will. Could you point out this Zoomric?
Yeah, I can even call him over if you want to.
In one second. At the end of your night, do you need to worry about it getting yourself drinks, or do you have any sort of process where you can just have one or two when you are done?
She having drinks? She says, you should don't drink with my clients.
Oh, I don't want to have a drink with you. I know, I would not want to cross that boundary whatsoever. I am saying that if you do have to pay for them, put one for you on my bill. I don't need to be involved whatsoever.
Oh, well, I'll take it as a tip.
Perfect.
For you and me. And Snookums over here.
And then I will look over at the woman who I openly was like, go away, without saying go away.
Yeah, you just body her like she doesn't mind because she's still getting drinks.
Oh, that's that's perfectly fine, because then I'll also go. Also, additionally, because you were polite and you actually let me speak to someone, I'll cover her for one as well. I don't mind.
So basically, Leo, at the end of the night, we're gonna have the other characters, but basically, this is the end of your little bit here.
Yeah, I think so.
Roll another Constitution check, save at disadvantage now.
Watch, I get another one. Not horrible.
Yeah, but it's not enough. So basically, she charges for that now. She charges about 45 gold.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
basically, you what was happening was, you drank basically 2 bottles of the stuff, right? Which is very expensive. It's about
it has been a while.
About 15 gold each bottle, and all the drinks that Melissa was having, because you never waved her off saying, "Okay, I want to cut her off." So Melissa was having all these very watered down drinks on your tab.
That's fine.
So yeah, and you have 2 levels of exhaustion, as well as poisoned.
I will say to Tara then.
Actually, no, not 2. That's too much. You have 1 level of exhaustion and poison.
All right, I will say to Tara then somewhere in the night. It has been a very good pleasure, by the way, to make your acquaintance.
It has been entertaining, I'll say that much. You come again.
It is the one thing I'm good at, being entertaining, or well, punching things to death. But that's a whole other story.
And I don't know if Marcus is still there, and then she says to Marcus, yeah, does he actually realize the difference between being laughed with and laughed at?
Normally, yes, but in this state, I don't know. Like I said, his heart is in the right place. Funny enough, this is the first time I've seen him try this hard, though, so if anything, take that as a compliment.
My father said that E for effort was worthless.
Oh!
But he's not here. I am.
There we go. In another life, I'm sure that we would have been great friends, and we would have gossiped about this afterwards. I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
make
don't
sure
know.
he's okay.
And she stretches out, and you can see that she has a very broad back, right? Again,
Yep.
she's someone who is very athletic. It's like, oh, I don't know. To be honest, I think I'm getting tired of this little thing.
Oh,
So it's okay to serve some drinks from time to time, but you know,
what's your goals? In that case, lay it on me then. If you weren't here, what's the dream?
I want to go back out there, kick some ass. Haven't done it in a while. And by this time, you see that Leo is doing the thing where people like drugs see doubles.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to concentrate on something. He's like,
Lael is being quiet now because he can't really think.
he hasn't get into the part where he starts spitting alcohol when some drunk starts to try to spit so they can spit the alcohol out. Not there yet, but he's like smacking his lips like, yeah, they're pretty dry.
Okay, well, if that's the dream, I might be able to speak to someone if I could, if that's what you wanted, and there was a way to do a bit of a check on if any problems would come connected. I don't mean to be so forward like my friend was, but it seems like that statement was pretty emphatic.
It was. I mean, this place is nice, and I don't mind your friend. I dealt with worse. Gods, I've done. But it gets tiresome after a while.
Do you mind the countryside?
Not at all. Love the city, but as long as I don't have to step on cow shit, it's fine.
I'm pretty sure if you avoid the farms, you won't have to step on any shit you don't want to. I'll keep that in mind then.
I should be. And there's a bell. Now I'm about to ring the bell here, so you might want to get a move on that and make sure your friend doesn't,
Yes, of course.
along the way.
No, I'll be fine.
I will help Lael, and I will get him to a spot where he can safely be sitting, possibly outside to get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Guards to keep him in check.
Yeah, the guards outside, they're just bored.
As we walk outside, I whisper probably very loudly to Marcus, I think I found out something.
Oh. 1 second. When we get outside, what do you think you found out?
She's looking for a different job.
No way. That's crazy. Good job.
Yes, we should hire her.
You know what you should... I will look into this.
And
do you know what you should do?
She could give us the inside scoop on things.
It's true. Why don't you stay out here and protect these guards from scary things?
I'm that drunk, aren't I?
Yes.
Fuck.
You didn't do any damage though. You were just entertaining.
Fuck.
Thank you. And then I will go back in and I will indeed try speak with Zumrik.
Yeah. You see, it's about 3 a.m. or something like that. So people are now either filing to the back the rooms where I mentioned before, or they're getting out. Right, the carriages are coming in to pick people up, or they walk. It's not that far from the city or where they're staying nearby. So, there are inns outside of the city as well, inside. So, everybody make a final series of checks to see if you won or lost.
How many you won? Just one?
Just the one. Everybody
I took off 10 gold for my drinks.
17. I might actually be doing well at the end.
Yeah, you lost about a third, but you came back 2/3. So you basically came out with 1/3 more than you came in.
All right, so third of 50 is gonna be like
round it down.
Yeah, I gotta do math here. Don't anyone look? I'm pulling up the calculator.
Gar, you can also make
16.
a roll. Yes, you did pretty well.
Yeah, no, remember I joined the blackjack table.
Yeah. And just make another roll.
God damn it! I came over here to get away from the flat roll.
No, you can actually make a. This time you had another chance of counting the cards.
Nope. I'm not gonna.
No.
Sorry, I came over here to play an actual dice game. I thought
Okay, let's roll
I
then.
was thought we were doing
Let's
the same
roll.
thing Bearcat was doing. So
Okay, let's roll then.
also,
Wait.
since I'm in the same game with Bearcat would be rolling too.
Yeah, let's meet.
Sorry,
The
does
dealer's
the-
gonna roll.
Does the other table have less people?
About the same. About this time, maybe everybody has about the same. So 413. Oh, busted. So yep,
The
you
dealer.
roll against that. So total is 12. Yeah, that's a bust. Ah,
God, that's too low. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna hit again.
Okay.
20. I'll hit. Stay. I mean,
Okay.
I'll stay.
yeah,
Well,
it's like, oh, damn, I do. Yeah, this. Yeah. So you're winning so far. Bearcat.
well, 16.
16. Yeah,
Um,
you gotta
did
you
you already
gotta beat
roll
at
for the-
one.
Did
Yeah.
you already roll for the dealer?
Yeah, she. No, I rolled for someone else who just busted out.
Oh, I
rolled
thought
for
that was the dealer. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the dealer busted. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the dealer has, which makes this harder.
12, 18 plus 7. It's
That's a bust.
yeah, that's a bust.
The dealer busted
Yeah.
already, so you could
Yeah.
technically stand pat here and you're fine.
Fine then.
Somebody's got to win money.
Mm-hmm.
Look, as long as I get enough to cover the, like, you come in with a certain amount, and if you left with a certain amount, you actually lose money. As long as I can cover that, I'm fine.
You want to break even, basically.
Yeah. Break even, including the exit tax or whatever the fuck.
Did anybody?
And the drinks you bought and the time you spent with people and
Did not buy drinks.
Yeah. Gar, roll a 1d6 plus 1. You earned a little bit more than you were expecting. Not too much on this table. This is yeah, you got about 3 gold extra after you covered everything. Bearcat, you broke even.
Cool. Good
And
enough for
I
me.
paid for it.
yeah,
I got a little more.
yeah, you got a little more. And so yeah, and Palian, he was also playing the games, and he was actually sitting over here talking to people while eating and stuff like that. Actually stayed away from the tables a little bit. You don't know what he was talking about. Also because his area is darker, it's much easier for him to sort of doff his hood and talk normally. But as soon as he gets out of there, he just puts it up again. Somebody said wanted to talk to Sumrik right
Yep.
now, or okay. So as
I
you're
did.
coming out, Sumrik is having a discussion with the pit boss, right? And so you are over here somewhere, yeah.
Yep.
And basically, he talked about the pit boss giving him the rundown of the night and things went. It's like, yeah, we did very well, right? You guys did very well, but the house always wins, so they raked it in everyone else. Also with the drinks as well. I mean, they just took out like 45 gold just out of Leo's hide. So yeah, they did very well. One way or the other, house always wins.
That's all right.
And so he's finished talking and he turns around and sees you. It's like, what can I do you for, sir?
Yes, I was actually inquiring about the general process rates, things like that, of the private room.
Well, sir, it's a 25 gold starting game.
Okay.
And can average an average as high as 500 or more, depending on the situation. Do you have a sponsor, sir?
Not yet, but technically, I'm going through the process of coming back to life, so it's part of the plan.
I see. Well, you do get a sponsor, so someone who can back your credentials and your ability to pay.
Of course.
And you would welcome. We would have to make an arrangement. We as soon as we can do this is tomorrow. But anyway, it could be arranged. So.
If that is the case, do you have any locations where people could contain things that they find particularly valuable, other than the chests at the front for weapons?
We do have a safe, so yes.
Can I at least get some information on that so I can inform people once I give the invitations?
No.
But then how can I know to trust it?
He looks you straight in the eye and says, no, it is a safe zone. If you wish to bring your valuables, it will be kept there. If you don't trust the house to keep your valuables, then I would suggest you keep them outside.
Noted. Thank you very much for the confidence in the facilities on site.
We will be closing soon. Please make your way to the door, and I hope to
Of
see you
course.
soon.
No problem. Thank you very much. I want to make an insight check.
Go ahead.
I'm specifically looking for if the safe isn't what he says.
To you, he looks someone who he literally looked you straight in the eye and told you, that's the procedure. We have no reason
Wonderful.
to doubt that there's any other way. In fact, the reading would be like, that's the kind of information that they don't share with you because they don't want that information to get out. Right?
Wonderful. Yep. Okay. Cool. Cool.
So it makes perfect sense to you that, it's a little bit abrupt, but otherwise it makes perfect
All
sense.
right. So from what I've seen, everything here seems above board. It's not like messages written in spaces that this is where like certain people sit. Nothing. Like, did I get that vibe throughout the night from you?
I mean, it's a lot of rich people here, which, knowing what you know, I don't know if actually you were told about the guild situation. Did Gars share that?
No, wasn't important.
Well, then, to you, it's a well-appointed place. I mean, it tends to have a very close-knit clientele, and the fact that people can stay here.
I would also have a bit of background info because of what my father did too, because he would have also had to deal with guilds and different things. And
yeah, but I mean, you can make a history check.
I'd love to.
Okay, you know the rundown. You know that all the gambling houses, starting with the Golden Wheel and others, are either owned by the mayor himself. He owns the biggest one in the city. It's how he became Lord Mayor, because of his, he was new money, right? In fact, among the old nobility, people disliked the mayor, but there's really nothing they could do about it because of the rumors that he was connected to the Thieves Guild. So when people talk about the guild, they talk about that particular guild. To the point where people who went after the mayor just rumored that they would lose everything. He wouldn't kill them. They just lose anything. Like one day you were a rich person, next you were a pauper.
Yep.
Right. So people were like, yeah, we may not like dealing with a nouveau rich asshole, but you don't have a lot of choice, And in fact, the reason you didn't see any secret writing this year, that maybe the guild is not participating here for some reason, which is interesting. Yeah. How the hell do they keep a well-to-do gambling house and just outside of Greyhawk without guild endorsement? That's peculiar.
Something's going on here. Cool. Yeah, I'll leave. And on our way back, once we have cart, I'm assuming that the guards are not inside the space with us, correct?
Yeah, they're not.
Okay. First of all, lovely place. Why are we scouting out a location that is not under guild protection?
We are seriously? We already covered this.
You didn't tell us this.
By the way, this is what it looks like. The top half, just to get you a glimpse of what it is.
No, I'm sorry. I was confused by that map situation that was just happening. Yeah, no. We already covered this. I'm
Okay.
confused by your re-questioning of facts that we've already gone over.
I was just asking again to confirm that it was indeed what you said versus some nefarious or unstated plot. However,
I've told you what we were after. I'm after a specific item, and that whatever else you guys want when we do it is yours for the taking. I don't think I've hidden my motives at all. In fact, this is the most open I've ever been.
and no, thank you. That was just a confirmation on my end. That place, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is, but it has. The best way I can describe it is it has a face of makeup on it.
Well, I counted about 20 guards. What about you?
There was about 7 to 8 in regular rotation at a time on the top floor. They all had view of the entire floor.
Correct. I'm
and
also
everything
including the
seems
ground.
above board.
Every doorway apparently seemed to have a guard or two. Almost.
It is true. But beyond that, everything seems to be above board in a gambling house.
I feel like Garwood's gonna do that moment where he closes his eyes for a moment. Semi-exasperation. Yes, we knew it was a gambling house when we went there.
No, that's not what I mean. I have never heard of another gambling house where everything was above board.
Well,
That
I would
means,
assume that it's not.
Wait, so they're all honest?
Yes, we found the
No.
one honest den of thieves.
Yep.
They cannot be all honest because it is a gambling house. Also, Kix. You may want to look into Tara the bartender. She might be a useful employee to bring in. She seems very strong. She has been trained, and she does not want to serve drinks anymore.
I recommend her too.
It's gonna make her last name very unfortunate.
The long-lived bartender family, of course.
Yes. Unfortunate choice of the as middle name.
Well, if you're looking to get her as some sort of insider, it'd probably be better to just go talk to them personally. But if you want me to just slip them away
absolutely
as
not.
some random job offer, I mean, I could just put flowers around town and pretend to be subtle about it.
Well, no, I think you go through the process of looking into them, seeing if they hold any guild connections that might be problematic. And I already openly said that I would see what I could do about it. Mentioned countryside and all of that. Whether you don't follow through or not, I'm
Actually,
just
talking about the
talking.
guild, you do notice this, even though it's more subtle than most. Palian gives Gar a look, but says nothing. Like,
And so,
yeah.
nope. But either way, there has getting in and getting what we need is going to be very difficult. That is extremely well planned.
Well, that's why I
There
asked how
wasn't
many
any
guards you saw.
suspicious activity. I confirm the same amount that you saw.
There's also
My
no
concern is
back
what we
room.
didn't see.
Well, there's back rooms, but they're private, right?
Yes, starting at 25 gold for the event can average up to around 500, but they most likely require a sponsor or a noble lineage to use them.
Do we know of like anything they would have that would prevent magic?
There could be many things.
Like what?
You remember, both of you, Gar and Marcus, about the conversation that the gnome proprietor had with the elf about you.
Yeah, magic items, guards at the door,
Yeah.
etc. So I'm
Yeah,
also
they-
in my head imagining everything Robert now says was slurred and.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What
I know.
about magic items?
Like,
So
Um,
somehow they did it basically a detect magic, you guys.
Yeah, Marcus doesn't have a basis to know how much to trust our turtle friend, so he's giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he's also not saying things first.
I mean, you also haven't insidered me yet either.
Oh, I know. Well, they were aware of the fact that we did have some magical trinkets on the way in, but that's probably some sort of detection. I don't know about stopping it.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that gnome lady talking about it.
Yes, I read her lips.
As did I.
Oh, that's really impressive, actually.
Convenient.
Can you teach me how to do that?
Feels like we could have some sort of teamwork mechanism where we don't speak, but we just mouth at one another.
Can you
That
teach
would be
me how to
very
do that?
useful.
That skill seems very useful.
With some training, I could, I suppose. You'd have to learn to be very observant.
That's always been my weakness.
But beyond that, I think we saw everything that there relatively was to see.
Yeah, we saw the stairwell, we saw multiple doors, and I don't know about you, but it seems pretty easy to suss out what each room was meant for.
I agree with that statement.
The number of guards tells us at least, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number out there, a third of their practical strength. I always assume that they have more. Don't know how many people it'll take to take us out, but we know how much it'll throw at us.
Does anybody have the ability to spawn a familiar? Maybe go through, check out the place?
I think
Maybe a
there's literally
druid
three
that could-
familiars flying around here right now.
Yeah, I think there's a
Maybe
few.
maybe a druid that could turn into some sort of mouse, rabbit, or cat and
I
get in
could-
small spaces.
They're back on that island of yours.
I could pass
Oh.
without trace. Does that count?
Sure, the known quantity that made himself highly associated with Marcus the entire time.
Yep.
Passively, you getting caught would be the worst act of all.
But I'm also pretty sneaky.
Sure, inside of a building that's well lit.
Well, just make sure it's not well lit.
You by yourself as you're going alone.
You want to come too?
No, I'm saying that the reconnoitering was done. That's what we went there for. What did you see, Lael?
I saw a very capable fighter in the barkeep. I saw a lot of drunk people. I learned how to play dice. And the guard rotations are very frequent, but I could not determine how much of an interval you had in between.
They were every hour and a half. Did I notice the interval?
Yeah.
What was the interval?
About you have about right, yeah. There was about every 2 hours for the guards, hour and a half for the pit boss.
I think the point being is that if we were to do any further reconnaissance, another word, we're going to need to do it externally, not from inside, but to see what the shit, my brain just stopped working. To see the level of business that they do on a nightly basis. That way, we can determine when the best time to enact a plan would be, rather than hitting them on their busiest moment of a night.
Would maybe how hard is it to find their books?
Oh, probably very.
Well, assumedly, it would be behind the cage.
Yeah.
If they have an office and they have a safe, well, probably there.
Oh, they have a safe, but the books won't be in the safe because then they'd have to open the safe to get to the books to do the books.
But wouldn't there also be other books? Like, do they actually have to collect taxes for this place?
Well, it's
Well, of
outside the
course,
city.
but that's all tax documentation.
And they're not part of the mayor's thing, right?
Well, the mayor owns
Most
his
likely
own
not.
place.
Oh, the mayor does own it. I thought.
No,
he
I
did.
said the mayor owns his own place.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking, because maybe they're heavily.
No, this
taxed.
is not the same building. I know you're very drunk, Lael.
You can tell.
It's very
The mayor's gambling hall is in the city. This one is not.
Well, I know that's what we saw. What about our friend that brought us here? What did you notice?
Penny speaks up and says, Well, they're pretty busy. I find it very interesting that they actually have rooms for guests to stay in. That's unusual. In that their primary business is to be a gambling house and not an inn. And they were expensive, at 10 golds a night. So they must have a very exclusive clientele that stays there for days at a time and gambles until they're utterly spent.
I was
Or
also
they will
recognized by an old
more.
friend.
All right, yes, I noticed that. That could be your sponsor. You can talk to him.
Absolutely, it could. Oh, the plan is to talk to him. I also made sure that he had a room to sleep off his state. I think we need to figure out. I think we definitely need to figure out what the way in is, because that's going to be the hardest part. Out, I don't see there being an issue.
What do you mean way in?
Is the issue. To the safe, we don't know where the safe is. We don't know any details about it.
And I mean, we're assuming that the item that I'm after, let alone the money that you're assumedly after, is in the safe.
I'm not trying to take any of their money. I'm here helping you.
Understood. I am just saying that we're assuming that it's in the safe, in which case I would equally...
I doubt that anything other than special items are kept in the safe. Most of the money probably escape in other safes or holes in the cage.
Yes, I specifically asked about the safe for anything magical.
Right, I would assume that there's probably an underground to this place that stores away their higher tier items, as well as where the higher echelons of this place reside.
I didn't notice any particular forms of the construction that would lead me to believe that they have underground facilities, but...
Right, we didn't fully explore the complex. We only saw rooms and stairwells, but I would assume that... Well, we did see the entirety of the outside, and there were places that we did not see which represent holes in that. We can only assume that they would be connective between rooms, possibly up or down, so who knows. I'm just thinking, from a tactical standpoint, it's easier to assume that things will go wrong and plan around those possible wrong things than to assume things will go right and to not plan for anything.
Well, of course.
Well, I think that maybe playing the angle of the special game, the high stakes game, might be a good idea. If for no reason that would probably require them to deploy extra guards and extra measures. And they want to make sure that their guests are safe. And that will probably partake a lot of their attention.
What would qualify as a high stakes game?
Well, according to what I've heard, it's that table of theirs is it's 100, at least a 20 to 25 gold table that can go very high in the hundreds of golds. Most people don't have that kind of money. And most of the tables were gold tables, but they were singles or doubles at most. Low double digits, nothing that would be considered to be high stake. Expensive by most people's standards, definitely. You wouldn't have your day laborer walking in and just dropping an entire month's wages on here. But aside from that,
yeah, I suppose
something a little more.
Yeah, I think the meta question here is like, how much do you think we might need to stay at that table for an extended period of time? If each hand is like 10 or something.
I mean, if we're going meta, we wouldn't want to stay at the table for an extended amount of time. We would want to start the table and have it go on as we were in the area.
This would be Kix eyeing for, I'll be the distraction who's just there sitting playing a big game.
No, I'm the distraction because I was throwing my name around on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, you would need to at least be able to cover at least 10 times the basic.
So 250 gold.
At minimum.
Yeah, 200, minimum. Because, it starts at 20, but it's going to rise very quickly. Otherwise, it's not worth having a high take.
Kind of sounds to me like Kix and Marcus both want to be this distraction, because Kix, I don't think, wants his name attached to a casino
One,
robbery.
yes, and two, because I have no ability to help you steal things from a safe here, except to
Yes,
rip it out of the
because
wall.
Yeah, you do. You lift it very high and then drop it from a high height.
I can be very persuasive. I can lie if I must. I can socially help you guys from the table.
Well, I think the point here is that we also want to wreck the place a little bit.
And
Well, of
Pelion looks at you
course.
is like, no, that's
That's what I would
Actually
say if I
not.
was an idiot.
Please don't.
he's like
Whatever
Well,
wager we're putting down, we're also putting down the reputation of our barony here.
All right, I apologize.
very
Rewind.
upset.
I keep forgetting if Pelion wants the place wrecked or doesn't want the place wrecked. He
No,
wants
he doesn't.
he wants the point across that this place isn't safe because it's not under guild protection. But I keep forgetting how exactly he wants that point made.
I mean, a robbery.
Yeah,
would be the best
yeah.
way to do it, without wrecking the place, because they want to be able to come and make an offer to the owner saying, well, this stuff happens if you don't buy the kind of protection. So, okay, let me explain what Alien thinking is.
No, I understood what you said
You
that
guys,
way.
no, but you guys make the robbery, which you are not affiliated with his friends over the guild. So they can truly say that they had nothing to do with it. But they are going to then offer their services to the owner, saying, well, if we were in the loop here and making sure that you were not harassed by outside forces, well, aside from paying your dues, a little off the top, you wouldn't be bothered. This is stuff that happens when you're not a member of the guild or protected from the guild. We didn't do it, but we're not the only game in town, or in this case, outside of town.
Yeah.
To clarify, when I say wreck the place, I meant obviously I know not to burn the place down. I mean bust heads, kneecaps get broken, that sort of shit.
That Palian looks at it and is like, well, if you absolutely have to, I mean, somebody comes after you, I'm not going to stop you. I don't expect you to die for this. But
well, I'm thinking like, meta. I'm thinking like mafia protection money, that sort of thing. Where, hey,
yeah,
if you had paid in,
the thing is that you are independent.
No, I understand. I'm telling you out of character what I'm saying. I'm putting it in the premise of like Goodfellas, right? You go down, you shake a place down, they pay, that sort of thing. I'm putting it into the preface of what do you go to the places that didn't pay? I know that these places aren't. I'm giving you. I'm looking at your face. I'm telling you, you're not reading me here. I'm not explaining myself right.
Well,
I think that the shakedown would be the robbery. That would be the thing. Right?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is that I know I don't want to burn the cleaners down because we want the cleaners. I'm saying that we still gotta hurt a few guys, otherwise they don't get the message.
well, Palian, would you have any connections into individuals who might want to be involved in this high stakes game?
I can find someone else that can be a patsy for you. He's not gonna like it, but
if we can, I think we set up the patsy to be the person who's trying to mess with my family. Whether he's there or not is besides the point.
that'll take some time. If you want to do this within the next week or so, then no.
Okay.
Setting up a patsy. What I meant by a patsy is if you go together to it, play in a game like this, and you have two people that are already coordinating, right? That's what he's trying to set up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess patsy is not the right term. It's
okay. Well, not that changes things.
Yeah.
Yes. If you have somebody coming in, that's fine. But I think if we can play it off so that the event is quote unquote connected to in some way of a particular house, then I think that's what we do.
I could start working on that, but that's going to take some time. And to be honest, I don't see the reason we should do that. At least my friends would not. It not to their benefit or mine, to be honest. Now, if dealing with this house of yours has some other benefits in some other areas,
Well,
I might
it
be interested.
absolutely can, because the process of me going through determining that I'd never died, if I am successful and we eliminate the biggest problem to the legal proceedings, which has been thus far for anything to do with my family's name, this individual, there is a piece of land which was burnt down but still has a foundation. And if I come into ownership of this, I might sell it to someone for a really good price. And they could do whatever they want with it.
That is a very attractive offer.
Because I have no use for it. I'm living in a fortress with a baron.
Hmm.
My sister has a home already. My family is covered. Whatever use of land that goes to, that's not my. If I sell it, that's not on me. And what am I? I'm a noble who's been away, and that house contains bad memories. I don't want to be there.
Well, if you're trying to find out if this individual you're looking for is still around,
I think that's a start. But I would easily be willing to negotiate the procurement of that of said property once everything is said and done for a more than reasonable rate.
I mean, yes. I mean, but you would have to secure it, in which case, getting rid of this individual who's blocking your family from getting it back, the necessary step.
Exactly.
I'll do some inquiries.
Wonderful.
Question that I have: are you willing to continue reconnoitering tomorrow, or when do you think you can try to make this high stake game happen?
Do we have enough money for it?
You?
Me. I'm looking at kicks.
I'm probably a bit short.
Maybe we should actually get some money first. Are there any bounties or anything that can cover this?
We can always you guys take a look on that front tomorrow.
Hmm.
I will take a look on the more political side, and we will see what can be done.
Yeah. Also, Barakat, you will get paid for the concert that you're going to be doing a couple of days, I think, if I look at the calendar. That should rake in some good money, right? I mean, you're going to be, if you do well, then yes, you're going to get remuneration for it. So,
Okay.
at least several hundred gold pieces.
Grand
opera house after all.
So that's really it for conversation during the trip, other than just specific details, all of that. However, when we do get back to the Sleeping Giant, I would like to have a word with Gar.
Leo, usually you meditate, but you're drunk. You need your sleep. You need to sweat out that alcohol that you had, you know. And
is that even something that's possible for elves to sleep?
Oh yeah.
They just can't be magically put to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, they have alternatives to. It's not that they're immune to sleep, as in they never sleep. It's that they can choose to sleep when they want to, or they have the alternative of resting in other ways, such as meditation and the like.
All right. Well, I go to sleep, and I'm sure, like, next morning the room smells like berries that are fermented.
There's a large bucket of water beside your bed. Somebody put it there.
Yeah.
With a ladle.
I made sure that the bucket was there.
I'm assuming I can drink that water?
Yeah, that's a ladle.
I drink the water.
Yeah, you're thirsty as fuck. You have a headache too, like you know.
But
it's
yeah,
been a while.
The night before, just before everyone goes to bed. Actually, Master Guy, can I ask a brief favor of you? It has nothing to do with what happened tonight.
What?
There's an old cohort of mine that I'm very interested in how they're doing. The only problem is, last I knew of them, they were going into being an apprentice with the wizards. And I cannot get in there because I'm not a wizard.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's their name?
Their name is Fawn Riverwood.
So just like those 3 words together. Like a female deer, a river, and some wood.
PHON for the first name, but yes.
Okay, so phonetically though.
Yes.
Fawn Riverwood. I mean, just saying, it makes it easier to remember.
Hell yeah. But no, it's someone who I had my eye on when I was younger. We enjoyed some time, but it's been 5 years and lives were separate.
So about your age.
Actually, slightly younger. Slightly younger.
Any
I think she'd
idea
be
what
about 20
school
now.
she studied under?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I
Okay.
did not care much before, which I somewhat regret now.
And how long ago was it that you saw her?
About 5 years ago.
And she had no aspirations for mobility?
She had many aspirations, but she was still at the stage of apprenticeship, so
Right, but within 5 years, one might assume that she could have learned something, traveled about to hone the craft, as it were.
it is completely possible. And she was definitely a bright young woman, so she probably did well.
But she was apprenticed here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the hope is that so there's some paper trail or scroll trail to assume where she may have gone if she's not here, and maybe she is here.
Absolutely. I greatly appreciate this, and thank you.
Sure, I'll check in the morning.